Hey guys, welcome back. It's very nice to see all of you again this week. So as we see the price, the price of BTC rally yesterday from 30K to 35K. It might because of the ETF approval maybe coming, but we're still wondering like how it will move. And so this week we also invite Jay to talk about his view, his thought. How does he think about like why the like how the ETF approval will be processed. So let's welcome Jay to talk about the market. And before it, I would like to just briefly go through the winners of last week. So there are 3 of our participants last week who won 10 USDT. So please allow maybe 7 days, 7 business days for it to go to go to a Pinex account. So without further ado, let's welcome Jay.
Hey, hello. Hey, thank you, Sia, for the introduction as always. What's up, everybody? It's been a crazy week. I hope everyone is doing good, and I hope more people are watching and here because it's been a crazy week. So we're doing it. We're doing a live stream on Tuesday, and as well probably gonna redo another one on Friday if there's things to update. But as always, hope everyone is doing great. Welcome to the Pinex live stream. Be sure to drop a like to support me and Sia, and drop a subscribe if you guys aren't subscribed already. And if you guys have any questions, I would love to hear them. Leave it in the chat. We're here to go over some charts and answer any questions that you guys might have. Bitcoin just broke the year-to-date high, so everyone should be excited. If you guys are in cash, then I don't know why you guys are all in cash, because we've been kind of repeating last week, and actually not last week, but the week before and the week before that. The patterns look very bullish for Bitcoin, especially with the news ETF behind it. And what's up, Robert? What's up, Slava? Good evening to you. It's nice to see you, man. And Vicky Kumar. Thought it was Vikram for a second. What's up? And hey, Kotex, how are you doing? Nice to see you as well. I have a little cold, but that's all right. I'm gotta be here because we got very, very major stuff going on, right? Bitcoin breaking out. That is major stuff. All right, let me share my screen. All right, cool. What's up, Google? How are you doing? All right, so I don't know if you guys were here a couple weeks ago, but what we talked about, right? What we talked about was that when Bitcoin recovers its breakdown, for example, back in December, when this happens, usually we move up either gradually or violently, just because if Bitcoin is bearish, it's never usually, right? It never returns to where it broke down from. And I showed you guys a couple instances in the past. And then for Bitcoin this time, it did the same thing, right? We recovered to 28,000, and then we had a pullback. We had a little consolidation, and then that's when we got to move higher. But I told you guys 2 weeks ago that this was a very bullish sign, and you guys should be prepared to buy Bitcoin over 28,000. Or if you are smarter, build a position on the pullbacks, but that is a little risky because you don't know if we have fully gone that bullish momentum yet. But regardless, what we said did come true in a big way. And Bitcoin touched 25,000 last night. Well, actually today / last night, depending on what time zone you are. But overall, this is crazy, right? Honestly, I did not expect this to go to 35,000 this quickly. I was expecting this to be bullish, but 35,000. We're up. What are we up right now? We are basically up 25%, almost 25% in this past 7 days. So I hope everyone is doing good and everyone is having a good. Everyone followed our advice of getting into that bullish viewing position. I don't know. Let me hear you in the chat. What are you guys doing right now? You guys long Bitcoin? I hope you got it. I know Google asked last time if you would close that EOS. I think it was EOS short, and I told you no, right? I don't know if it's up right now, but it's definitely better. Let me check it right now, real quick. It's definitely better than selling it. All right, it's not really up that much. It's up like 20%, but it's better than selling it at the lows. Sorry if my voice is a little stuffy. It's with the cold, you know. The sea. It's pretty cold in the United States now. But anyways, so what was the news, right? What was the news driving this price action up? Well, mostly it was at first due to. All right, so this is why Bitcoin is kind of down a little bit today, but let me try to find it right now. Let me try to find it. I don't know if I have it pulled up, but mostly it was because the Bitcoin BlackRock ETF was listed on the DTCC list. So basically, it's like a NASDAQ clearings list, and you need this to be basically you need this for clearing through the NASDAQ, and it's basically one step in getting the BTF approval process. So BlackRock, who has done this like 350 or more times in the past, they know the whole process, right? So through that, they would yesterday at least their ticker, the BlackRock ETF ticker, was listed on this list just prematurely, right? And because of this, a lot of people were hyping it up and saying that, oh, you know, this is one more step in the BTC ETF approval process, which is very true. And so we had a tweet from Eric. I don't know how to say his last name, but he is a senior ETF analyst for Bloomberg, so which is obviously a very seasoned professional who has a lot of experience in this space, especially the ETF space. Let's find that tweet from yesterday, October 23rd. Where did it go? Let me see. Right here. So this is what happened. iShare Bitcoin Trust has been listed on the DTCC, which clears NASDAQ trades, and the ticker will be IBTC. And this is all a process of bringing the ETF to the market. So obviously this is a very, very bullish sign for the ETF approval. So today, the bad news was that the IBTC ticker, just as fast as it came, it got removed from the DTCC list, right? So this was the bearish sign, bearish little bearish momentum that we got. If you look at the charts, we had a little quick sell-off a couple hours ago when this news came out. And through on my what's that word? Suspicion. I just forgot. I literally just forgot that word. All my suspicion is due to probably SEC telling BlackRock, hey, you're not approved yet. We don't want any rumors. We don't want any causing any too much volatility inside of this space, and probably ask them to actually remove it from the DTCC list. That's why, you know, one day it's up, one day it's off, right? Why is that? There's no reason for that to happen unless we're just trying to prevent volatility from the space. And let me see. I think Slava had a question. Please explain more about the BTC ETF. Will much more invest from this to crypto USD? Are you just Slava? Are you just asking what like the effects of this ETF will have, or just like the price of, you know, for Bitcoin? So I mean, you already saw. Let me share oops, I'm sharing the wrong tab. But let me go back to the Bitcoin chart. You already saw the, you know, aftermath of what was going on, right? Sorry we couldn't do a live stream last week, but if you guys look at the research, we wrote about this. The research I published. We wrote about this on Friday. So we had a false breakout, right? Kind of a false breakout based off of the BTC ETF being approved news, which was fake news given by Cointelegraph. And after that, right, logically, if it was an efficient market, we would have basically reclaimed all of this upside. We would have just went down to the downside and probably went back to 27,000. But that's not the case of what happened, right? What happened was instead of doing that, we actually found buyers at 28,000, right? 28,000, which was the line in the sand that we talked about 2 weeks ago. This was like the bull bear differentiation line, right? So so we actually had multiple tests at 28,000. So at first, my first reaction was I'm going to be selling all my Bitcoins at 29 and 30,000. And that's what we did for some of the, accounts that we manage under USDT terms. And this wick was basically all retail buying it up and then institutions and then, more smart money selling if we were looking for short-term trades, right? If we were buying from like 26,000, 27,000, selling all the way up to here, 29, 20, 30,000. So obviously that was a good trade at the moment, but then we saw how much demand there was and the stubbornness of Bitcoin price to hold 28,000. And over here is when basically I changed my mind, right? So 28,000 was strong support, and the whole narrative kind of shifted, likely because, hey, the narrative, think about it like this, right? You saw fake news. You saw the ETF get approved, but it was fake news. And you saw prices spike from 27 to 30,000, basically within a couple hours. Even though it was fake news, we retraced back to 28,000, but we refused to go under 28,000, right? So logically, it should go under 28,000 because the news was fake. But let's say you're a trader on the sidelines with, like, let's say Slava's got like $100,000 USD waiting on the sidelines, just waiting for the ETF news. You saw just how quickly this went up, and then you saw it's at 28,000, which is still pretty close to the year-to-date high, but it's still a pretty good price level, right? Because you just saw that Bitcoin went to 30,000. You know that if the ETF gets approved, we're probably going to go over 32,000, and then basically the sky's the limit for Bitcoin this year, right? Our target was always 34 to 36 by the end of the year, ever since I think April, if you guys have been following us for a while. So we reached that. I'm going to pat myself on the back for our target that we had, and we definitely reached it now. But if you're Slava sitting on the sidelines with 100,000, right, you see how much momentum, how many people are waiting on the sidelines. You're definitely going to get in. You're going to feel FOMO, right? Especially at 28,000. You see prices start moving up. What are you going to do? You're not going to wait anymore. ETF approval is basically, I would say 70% probability that it's going to get approved. Very, very high chance. So when you see prices going up, you're going to FOMO in, especially if you have a lot of money sitting on the side. You're going to be like, all right, we already know ETF is highly probably going to be approved. And we just saw the price reaction to the fake Bitcoin ETF news. So you already have the thought in your mind that price is going to spike if it gets approved. So with that narrative, right, most people on the sidelines are feeling FOMO. And as prices go up, they're just going to feel more and more FOMO, right? So that is a narrative I had in mind when it was at 28,000, and I actually started buying my position at 28,000 just because I knew narratives would change, and the likelihood of it going up is very strong, especially after holding this 28,000. I didn't predict we were going to go straight to 35,000 just today, but over 30,000, anything was likely to happen because 30,000 was a very strong resistance, and as you can see here on the hourly chart. Sorry if it's not very clear. Let me zoom in. You can see on the hourly chart, we barely had any pullbacks, very shallow pullbacks each time after getting rejected at 30,000 until we just blew over it and then just took all the liquidity, right? We blew over 30,000. And then, of course, over 30,000, are you really going to be selling after you just got in, right? I wouldn't be selling here after we broke above 30,000. So that's basically what happened in the past couple of days. Just a little review for you guys who weren't focused or who weren't around. And, if this case does happen in the future, you guys have a kind of logic basis to go off of for trading it. So where do we go now, right? Where do we go now? Honestly, over 30,000, we're likely to just continue up. I'm not going to say in the short term, but over 30,000, we broke over 32, all this stuff, all this like consolidation. I'm not really going to even talk about it. I don't really see 32 as really resistance anymore. It's just 30,000, right? Like we tested 30,000 so many times, 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. And third test is usually the true breakout, especially how fast we rushed over 32 and to 33, 34. This is probably going to continue all the way up to 37, even 40,000. Now, I don't know if this is going to do that in the next couple of days, right? Because we just had some of the positive momentum removed due to the BlackRock ticker being removed from the DTCC. Let me go back to that tweet right here, just for you guys who joined late, right? iShare Bitcoin Trust is gone from the DTCC's list. Okay, so this was some positive news that pushed the price to 36,000 yesterday. So this news basically got removed, but in my mind, that is a bearish, at least a little bearish overhead. But people are still very bullish. Just think about it. You missed out on this move from 30,000 to 35,000. You're going to be wanting to build a position, right? Let's say Slava didn't buy any Bitcoin when we told him to at 28 or 30. So Slava still got $100,000 sitting on the side. What are you gonna do, right? What Slava's gonna do is probably wait for a pullback. But there's probably like tens of thousands of people like Slava with a lot of money on the side. So on any pullbacks, so I wouldn't expect any deep pullbacks. So these shallow pullbacks to, let's say, the 50-day moving average to 32,000 will likely be bought. But one thing is, for me at least, I would give it a very high probability. I'm not going to give you certainty, because nothing is certain in this world. We could get United States joining a war the next day and Bitcoin completely dumps, right? Nothing is for certain, but I would give high probability that Bitcoin is not going under 30,000 again. So that is basically what is going on. And if you guys have questions, drop it in the chat. Take advantage of this time to get your questions answered, whatever questions you guys have. But also, to continue on, so why is the Bitcoin ETF so important, right? So the Bitcoin ETF is important because institutions can buy this because it holds spot Bitcoin, and it is more, there will be more participation into it instead of trading the futures ETF, which is just based off of some derivatives, right? So this is, am I sharing the right screen? Yes, I am. And this is important because most of the money in the US is institutional money, right? Institutional money is worth trillions and trillions. And of course, Bitcoin is only worth a couple $100 billion. It's not even worth $1 trillion anymore. So even if a portion of that money gets converted into or buys the Bitcoin ETF, and the Bitcoin ETF has to buy spot Bitcoin and not some futures contract, then what will happen, right? Then you can just think about it as in terms of how much money flows into the Bitcoin ETF and how many Bitcoins are out there for sale. So only 30% of Bitcoins are out there for sale now. And let me just pull up the chart just to demonstrate the data. But only 30% of Bitcoin are up for sale right now. Hope no one sees my password. It's blanked out. So think about it this way, right? If there's only 30% of Bitcoin, think about how much Bitcoin that is, and then think about how much money is going to go in because of a Bitcoin ETF. Just you can make your best estimation, right? Like 1% of the institutional funds in the US, right? Of course, you're not going to be accurate, but this is just a high level prediction, right? And then after that, you can be like, hey, so how much, if let's say $200 billion is going into Bitcoin, which is around 30% of the available supply. How much will that push the Bitcoin price up by? Because not all 30% of Bitcoin is going to be available for selling, right? People are going to buy and sell it. So if $200 billion come into the Bitcoin spot ETF and they're forced to buy 30% of the supply, there's going to be no liquidity. Like Bitcoin's just going to fly, right? Bitcoin's probably going to go to like 60K or even 100K. Of course, that's not going to happen all within one day. That's not going to happen just because the BlackRock ETF or the Bitcoin ETF in general gets approved. But that's what the thesis is, right? That's what the bullish thesis is. That is why the ETF is positive news and positive for the price of Bitcoin. So Slava, that's a very long answer. Hopefully very clear as well. Let's see. Learn term holder supply. Right here. So this is a long-term holder. Can I get a percentage? So they are holding around 14 million Bitcoins. And then you just divide that by the total supply.
I guess I think it's around 76%.
It's pretty high.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
Where is it? Let me look at that. I am trying to find it. And I see more and more people joining. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the live stream. We just went over some BlackRock ETF and Bitcoin news. And basically, Bitcoin broke out, right? Very strong. And high probability is not going back to 30,000. So if you guys want to dip by 30,000, it's a good price, but it's likely not going to get there. Withholding, some crazy news that's been happening. And if you guys want to get early access to this information, subscribe to the newsletter. Sia, can you post the Substack link in the chat?
Yes, give me a second.
Because we usually talk about this before. Right now we're talking about it on a live stream, but it's already a little late. But the newsletter usually covers it. We try to cover it a little bit earlier, at least. Where is this? Okay, here, supply last active over a year ago. So 1 year, so long-term holders, 68% of Bitcoin is held by long-term holders. That is the basically highest in the history of Bitcoin, and that also means there's very little liquidity. And I just found this interesting that I'm going to share with you guys also. So everybody knows gold, right? So gold's price soared 300% after the first ETF approval. So if you guys look at the price of gold, so the first gold spot ETF was approved in November of 2004. And after it was approved, Bitcoin went up. I mean, not Bitcoin, gold went up 300x. So of course, some of this has to do with some of it has to do with the great financial crisis of 2008, 2009. But before that, right, from 2004 to 2007, there wasn't that big of a change. There wasn't that big of a reason or narrative for gold to go up, except for just having the gold ETF being listed on the NYSE, right? So afterwards, of course, we started cutting rates and printing money. Gold was ripped all the way to 2012. That makes sense because people are trying to hedge inflation and things like that. But the main question is, will Bitcoin also have this sort of run right after the ETFs get approved? And of course, the ETF, from our point of view, ETF is not going to get approved anytime soon. It's probably going to be approved actually, if you think three months is very soon, then then yes, it might get approved very soon. But our prediction is still or sometime in January. Maybe the SEC will be approving it. Yes. But one word of caution is if we continue to run up, right? If the price of Bitcoin continues to go up, so let's say we get a little consolidation, maybe we'll go to 32,000 and we continue up to 37,000, right? If the ETF gets approved in January and we're at like 37,000, 40,000, I don't foresee we're going to run up some more. It's mostly likely we're going to get like a blow off top and then people just start selling into it. And it's going to be more of a sell than use event. So I wouldn't be chasing if Bitcoin prices are at 37,000, 40,000, and then we get a ETF news. I know that's later down the road, but just wanted to throw that out there for you guys so you guys don't get trapped. All right, cool. Anyone has any questions or charts that they want me to go over, just leave it in the chat. You guys are a little quiet today, so drop me a hello or something so I know you guys are alive. And while you guys are doing that, I'm going to take a look at some structured products. So as I said, I don't believe prices are going to go under 30,000 at all. And so 30,000, we've been taking basically some 30,000 trades on the structured products, which is basically a limit order. But instead of you just waiting, at least you get paid some interest. And I've been taking these positions pretty heavy. Well, I did some 29,000, but these were when prices were a little bit lower. You know, I put in my own money. It's only 10% yield, but you know, that's better than not having your money do anything.
Hey Jay, I think you need to share the screen of structured products.
Oops, my bad. Yeah, right here. I did 2 trades yesterday because I'm just like, you know, Bitcoin's probably going to keep going up. The lowest is probably going to go is 30,000 at most. I don't even think that's the case. So those are some trades I took. I mean, there's some crazy yield because volatility is so high right now. If you guys are more risky, so let's see the chart of Bitcoin. We're at 33. Hold on, let's look at this. Sorry, smaller chart. I would honestly buy pullbacks into 32,000. I don't know if we're gonna get that. So it might not look very good, right? If we get a pullback into 32,000, we just kind of like gave back this whole bullish rip, which basically this liquidity void, and buyers just kind of bought through. 32, but 32 is still not a bad price. So, you know, 32 has very high yield. If you guys take a look, but of course it's very risky. Like one day you get 43% annualized returns. That's pretty crazy. Like that is pretty high. I'll actually do some of this one. I don't think we're going to go to 32 today. This is literally in a couple of hours. Let's just put in 5,000 for one day. Oh, is that a quota? It's too popular.
Try 3,000.
3,000 is too low, though. It's not very fun. I'll do 3,150. How's that? Oh, look at this one. 3,150 has the same yield as 3,175. So this pricing, take advantage of this pricing. 5,000 for this one. All right, perfect. 32% yield, just some free. It's not free, but some low risk money. Hey, Nam, how you doing, man? I hope you're doing well. Slava, XRP at the end of the year. Honestly, I don't really do all like Bitcoin price predictions are it's not easier. I'm not gonna say it's easy, but it's more there's more stuff backing it. XRP price prediction, that might be a little hard because XRP is just all news driven. They're like, this is hard. I don't Okay, so I mean, I'm not gonna say end of the year because usually we only give like the highest level that it'll reach that is within our framework. For XRP, the highest definitely in. It's not gonna go back to $1. That is true. Like it's just not gonna go back to the highs. For XRP, I believe it's just gonna. I believe we're not gonna have a rotation into altcoins by the end of this year. Altcoins might have like started bottoming out, but I don't think we could have. I don't think we're gonna have a rotation where it's gonna be altcoin season. So maybe the top for the end of the year is gonna be 67 cents. That's my view on XRP. Yeah, dual investment should all be green unless you're doing covered calls, which I did some, but you know, it is what it is. I got to sell Bitcoin at 29,000, 30,000 when I bought it very cheap. So it's Not too bad. Sorry, I wasn't sharing the XRP screen. Let's see. Yeah. I mean, XRP looks great right now, just from a chart pattern. But let's see. Let me zoom in. Yeah, XRP looks great from a technical perspective. But doing price prediction on XRP is very hard. It just depends on if Bitcoin will keep going up, and then XRP will get some of the flow into it. But I started another what's it called, a altcoin ETF. So I had my original one that was up like 30% on XRP, but then it kind of fell down because XRP just like dumped. But again, my top 10 altcoin one is up 16%. Then I started at one like literally 2 days ago before the run up to 35,000. These are a lot more, what's it called, smaller coins. Well, not all of them, but I have some ARB, I got some AVAX, I got some KDA, ORDI. So just a little, I got some layer ones, got 2 layer ones, I got STX, I got some Sushi for DEX, and XMR for privacy, RNDR for AI. Yeah, in the US, we don't have all these features, but hopefully in the future, and or if you are a accredited investor, we can also give that to you as well. Oh, I was not sharing my screen again. God damn it. Sorry. Well, here is the portfolio that I was talking about that you guys couldn't see. Kotex, I bought back XRP when it was at 95 cents and lost everything in the Einstein exchange scam here in BC, Canada. Kotex, you bought XRP at the top, or like a while ago you bought XRP? Oh, I guess you bought XRP back when it was like last year, right? Or 2 years ago almost, because XRP hasn't hit 95 cents for basically 2 years. But sorry to hear that, man. I didn't know there was a Einstein exchange scam. That's crazy. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, definitely. Oh, back in 2000. What? XRP wasn't even out in 2018. I'm like 2008. I'm like XRP wasn't even out in 2008. 2018. Yeah, that was a long time ago. That's definitely a long time ago. Great question. Will ETH outperform BTC? That is a good question. Let's pull up the chart. So, in my view, not in the short term. So within the next 1 or 2 months, I don't think ETH is going to outperform BTC. No. So on just looking at the technical chart, right, we're hitting very low levels that we have seen in the past work as support. But the thing is, all the hype is surrounding Bitcoin right now. Like all the hype is around Bitcoin ETF, right? There is no Ethereum ETF. And when the Ethereum futures ETF got approved, it was a very lackluster event. And Ethereum basically sold off on that news. Another point of view, right? Just from the technicals, we basically had the level that we want to watch here is basically 5.3 cents, because all of these are just deviations from the actual level. So after we had a bounce here, we had a bounce here, and we had a breakthrough down here, but these are just deviations from the level. And then right now, what do we have? Right now, we basically have we're trading under the low level on the ETH BTC pair. I wouldn't say this is the low, right? Because we traded through it. So unless we reclaim it and kind of start moving up, then I guess we could see a quick recovery. But in my opinion, I don't see Ethereum outperforming Bitcoin. we might have like a little catch up, as in Ethereum start, the pair starts moving up a little bit, but as you can see, we're still in a very heavy downtrend, right? So I could see it bounce. I could see it bounce up, something like this. But even if that happens, we are still inside of a downtrend, right? And we could just kind of like go sideways like this. So no, I don't think Ethereum is going to outperform Bitcoin in one simple answer in the short term. In the long run, yes. Like next year when the Bitcoin ETF comes out, and if Bitcoin hype and everything is still supporting that type of momentum, then yes, Ethereum will outperform sooner or later.
I saw one theory online, so basically saying like maybe after BTC halving and ETH will become like outperform BTC, because right now people are accumulating BTC, and we need to see some sell off on BTC, and we can see ETH outperform maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. See, like before, we were just having this type of sideways movement, but then in the past couple of months, or past year, we just been consistently moving down on Ethereum, right? Just having this crazy downtrend. Kevin, I think that the ETH BTC starting a grid bot wouldn't be a bad idea, but just not like your full position, because I still believe we could get some type of move under the low right here, into under, maybe even under 50 cents, as Bitcoin outperforms some more, because Bitcoin is very bullish right now, right? So just factor in that you might have to withstand some pain before we start kind of like moving back into this range, which might be 2 to 3 months. But right now it's definitely at a low level, definitely way better than starting one over here, which is actually what I did, but I closed it. Well, I closed some of it, but yeah. So just be sure to know that you might have to hold through some pain first. Any other way you would recommend growing BTC in this market? Yes, but if you're in the United States, I'm not sure you can use it, unless you can access dual investments. I'm not There is I guess if you're like trading daily in and out, you could grow your BTC, but that's very difficult. So for example, if you guys can access this, um, I would say for this week at least, Bitcoin is near the top. We can continue up, but I don't see us going higher than like 37,000. So, for example, right now on the 2 day 37,000 uh, covered call, you can get 15% annualized return in Bitcoin. So, if you want to grow your Bitcoin without the risk of trading, you can use structured products and you can use dual investments to grow it. So, if you do this for a whole year, you'll have 14% more Bitcoin. Of course, the risk is you sell your Bitcoin at 37,000, but honestly, I don't think that's a big risk. And I would also like to sell my Bitcoin at 37,000. That's almost what is that? That's still $4,000 upside from here. Hi, Tumballs subscribing. What's up? How are you doing? How are you doing? Anyone got any other altcoins they want me to go over? Altcoins are starting to come alive a little bit too.
Yes, Jay can go over technical analysis on any altcoins you ask. That is available on TradingView.
Yes. Even if it's not listed on Pinex, we can definitely go over some stuff. Yeah, open to questions. But yeah, this feature, this feature is available globally. So I would suggest trying to go for a global account and seeing to see just doing level 1 KYC to see if you can access it. But in the US, you cannot access it because I don't know when they're going to allow this. Maybe like a couple years, because they're very strict depending on how professional you are as a trader. All right, Solana. I've been kind of wrong about Solana. I wasn't really using Solana, to be honest, just because they were so involved with FTX, and they were down so much. Let's see. Let me look. Let me share the daily chart instead. Solana looks good. Looks good. 100%. It's been so strong. I don't know why. Like Matic has not been very strong. It's been basically hovering around lows the whole year. And this Solana's just, let me find Solana. Where is S? I found it. Solana. Solana's a little bit stronger. Let's see. So on the weekly chart, let's take a look. Let me get my indicators out. So the TTM squeeze just fired on the weekly chart after a long time of consolidation, right? So this is a positive sign on the longer time frame. Of course, this could be fake, similar to over here when it fired off. I don't even know why I fired off here, because this is just squeezing. But right now, it's definitely firing off, right? So the TTM is basically when prices squeeze between channels for a long time, and then it finally breaks out. MACD side broke out, RSI pretty good. Now let's go to the daily chart. Let's see. Yeah, Solana looks good. Solana looks good. As long as Bitcoin goes up, I think Solana will follow it. But I wouldn't be chasing here. I would try to get Solana, because altcoins are still not the strongest. I would try to get Solana at 26. Yeah, so Solana had a perfect bounce off the 200-day moving average at 21. This is obviously the optimal entry, or it broke over the 200-day. If you guys look, right, every time it breaks over the 200-day, it has a pretty good run up. These little ones don't count. For example, this one, yeah, and then this one, and of course bouncing off the 200-day. So I like it. Solana is pretty standard. It follows technicals pretty well, as at least right now. So what I want to see on here is some Bitcoin consolidation, Solana kind of pulling back into 25, 26, right along here, and then you build a position here and give it some room, maybe down to like 23, and then your target would actually be just like hold it for 40, 44, 48. So I feel like that's a very positive trade. Yeah, so Solana looks good. Kevin, who's that? Yeah, Kevin asked about Solana. Yeah, Solana looks good. If you want to build a position when it pulls back, that looks all good to me. And I know the Solana community is still very active as well. So there's a very big ecosystem. I was just at a Solana event this past Friday, and there's still a lot of people building on Solana. So not a bad one. What's up, Valstru? How you doing? And Slava, I am not using ChatGPT in trading that much anymore, unless I need to help me code something in PineScript. I'm not really using it in trading, just mostly for day-to-day work. That's what I'm mostly using it for. But still love ChatGPT, and I know Sia even uses ChatGPT and other AI stuff to help, draw graphics and stuff like that too. Yeah, thanks, Kevin. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you for coming, and I hope that our little live streams and advice will help you out in your trading. Where does the money go? Valsro asks, where money go when you forcibly liquidated? When you fully are liquidated, I believe there's a liquidation fee, but if there's money left over above the liquidation level and the fee, you get the money back in your account. That's where it goes. But but I don't even know if we charge a liquidation fee. I'm pretty sure we do. Every exchange does. But if you're forcefully liquidated, then a portion of that goes to the fee. But then everything else that's sold, it just goes back into your account if there's money left over, basically. and you didn't lose everything because your coin went to zero or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But what's interesting? A lot of the UK viewers are not here anymore because we can't trade in the UK anymore, and they are very upset. Very sad about that. We had a lot of good viewers, good friends from the UK, but
Yes.
now, due to regulations, very, very, very sad. Hopefully, we can figure something out for that in the future.
Yeah, once the regulation gets clear, we can definitely find a solution.
All right, guys. Still a little sick. Let me know if you guys have any other questions. Yeah. So, for example, So like I said, guys, I was buying the Bitcoin here at 28,000, and then selling it up here at 35 and 33. Did two little buys here. Valzor, what were you trading? Were you doing heavy leverage again? Heavy leverage. If you got liquidated and like prices were moving very quickly to the downside, and then it spiked through your liquidation level, then yeah, maybe you just lost like some money. It's too much leverage. These days, I don't use that much leverage. LPT. Let's see. LPT. What is LPT? What is LPT? Let me see what it is first. Liver peer.
Live.
How long has this been around? 2019. Doesn't look horrible. It's basically went back to 2019 levels. Is this this is pretty big coin? What is this ranking? Let me see. Market cap 184 million. Low high. What is the ranking of this? How do I see the ranking? Live peer. I feel like I heard about this one actually. I mean, the fundamentals I don't really know because I don't really watch this. Live stream network protocol, fully decentralized. That is pretty cool. Decentralized live streaming, so you can control your own data, probably, right? Okay. Let's see. Addresses by holding 0 to 1, 99%. Whales holding 60%. Addresses by time held, holders. Everyone's just holding this because it's down so much, I guess. And whales, there are lots of whales, 60% whales. It's not too bad. LPT looks, let's see. Doesn't look too bad. It's got some very large volume spikes. What is this? A couple million, 10 million, $10 million worth. It's not bad. I don't know. Just try some news came out here. They got some new services or whatever, right? That's why it spiked up so heavy. Yeah, this looks pretty good. I would just buy it at the 200-day moving average, and if it breaks, I would just leave. That's a very clear plan. Look, it bounced off 200 once, 200 like 10 times, and then another time. I would just buy this at the 200-day moving average, or if you want to buy it now, it's okay too. If you buy it now, then you just buy it now, and then you just exit under the 200-day moving average. This is a very clear and simple trading plan. Yeah, doesn't look horrible, and you have very well defined risk. I just think it's better to buy this during altcoin season. But if you're a holder, just buy it near the 200-day, and just keep holding it as long as it's above the 200-day. and just wait for the run up. Yeah, of course, King T. Oh, King TJ, got you, man. Valstro, what were you trading that you lost $1,000 on? Yeah, you definitely just don't ever want to be liquidated because there's extra fees on top of that. You definitely just want, let's say I'm trading Bitcoin right now. Like if I'm doing leverage, I want my liquidation level to be somewhere it would have never hit, like something like 28,000 or 25,000, because you just don't want that extra. You just don't want that extra cost for your futures trading. And market looks pretty quiet right now. Nothing going on. Were you buying it, or did you buy it and then it just fell down? Were you trading this pump right here when it pumped from 32 to 35? I hope you didn't chase this up and then kind of just get liquidated in one candle, because that's, definitely, I could definitely see that happening. Unless you're early to this type of pump, I wouldn't chase it. For example, I was selling on this pullback, and then when I saw price kind of stabilize, and I was just like, okay, let me buy back in, right, on this buy right here. I didn't sell on this run up because for my game plan, I was kind of just like, oh, if this goes to 38, I want to be holding some. But today, after the news came out, I just sold because I just didn't think it was going to do it. 34.80. So you kind of like dip bought it. Oh, let me see. $34. Yeah. Started long perp at 34.80. Man, you basically bought the top. Come on, dude. You can't be chasing it at 35,000. Never chase it. Let me tell you, if you're 32, yeah, panic trade. Yeah, I feel that. I used to do that too, when I first started trading, like penny stocks and stuff like that. But yeah, once it runs up like two huge candles on big volume like this, you just don't want to chase it, like no matter what, right? This is crazy candles. You never want to chase crazy candles. Hey man, all I understand. Don't worry about it. You learn, you live, and you learn. Next time, no more chasing, right? You want to buy here, right? On these consolidations. If you're wrong, just get out right here. But these are so easy to get liquidated, especially if you're using especially if you're using margin. Alvages. I'm just gonna say Alvis. What do you think about XRP? We covered XRP earlier already. Basically, I don't think it's gonna go to $1. Maybe like next year, right? I think XRP is just going to trade. I think the max is gonna trade. Let me pull it up again. I think the max XRP is going to trade to is going to be around 63 cents, 65 cents. Unless Bitcoin just goes on a crazy tier to 40K or even above. Even then, I think XRP is still going to be around 65 cents, because this news is mainly Bitcoin driven, and altcoins are just getting a little bit of the tailwinds behind it. But in all the money's still flowing into Bitcoin right now because of the Bitcoin ETF news. And like Nam said, don't chase the pump. Yes, sir. Don't chase the pump. Unless it's the XRP pump, you can chase that. That's different. That's a different pump. That's literally like the news. But overall, XRP still looks good. It still looks good. The chart pattern looks good. I just don't think it has enough momentum to like rip up to like 70 cents. But let me see. Give me a sec. Was I sharing the right? Hope I was sharing the right chart. I don't think I was sharing the right chart, to be honest. The right screen. I was on the Pinex screen. But hold on, let me pull up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
saw
was
you
on.
like you're like talking about buy here and sell here, but like There's
Oh,
no.
oh God. Yeah. Oh wow. That's embarrassing. You guys couldn't even see my screen. Well, but yeah, for XRP, buying anywhere around 50 cents is good. 50 cents to 52 cents is good. I would say for like a long-term hold. But if you're talking about if I think XRP will like, continue up, that I am not sure about, to be honest. That is too hard of a question. I don't have a crystal ball. But if you want to build a position, anywhere between 50 cents and 52 cents is good. And just to go back to share my Pinex screen, basically talking about where Valsro ants entered Bitcoin USD. So I'm on the 1 minute chart, right? So I sold after this pump because I was like, okay, this is a crazy pump. We're probably not going back to 35K very soon. Like this is a huge pump. This is at least like how many percent is this? This is like 3 minutes and it's like 10%, right? So I sold it, but then I was like, I don't know. And let me get back in a little bit because I thought maybe we could gradually grind up again because it didn't dump any further, right? So we just had a dump to 32 and then we held, and then I bought back in here. And I didn't sell at the top because this was more for like 37K, 38K, just to see if we can get there. It's more like my long-term hold, but I'm just using futures. But then when the news that the ETF name got removed today, I sold it. Oh, right here. I sold it right here. So Valstro bought it like right here, which is like almost the tippy top. So you never want to chase on these candles, especially these huge 1 minute candles. As you can see, in 1 minute you can get liquidated, or in like 2 minutes you can get liquidated. Unless you're entering here at the start of the pump, you never want to chase these huge candles in most cases. Yeah, Elvis, if you buy near 40 cents, you're good. Just keep holding that, and you're solid. You're definitely very solid. And Bitcoin right now just looks like it's consolidating. It's still holding up pretty strong even after the news that the ticker got removed. So I'm just kind of in the middle. My view is I don't really have much of one right now. I think we're still going to like 37,000, but I'm not saying that in the next week we're gonna do that. So I'm just trying to see if we get a dip so I can buy more Bitcoin, and that is my plan. And I am planning to use structured products to do that. If you guys missed that, here are my current orders: 5,000 at 31,500, giving me 32%, and then 20,000 at 29,000, which the chances of us getting there is like 0. So this is just free interest money for me. And yeah, and I think that wraps up our live stream for this week. Hopefully that was helpful, guys. And as always, if you guys didn't like it, drop me a like. I see 14 likes. That's pretty good for the amount of viewers. That means almost everybody liked it. So thank you guys for that. And be sure to subscribe to the channel as well to get notified when we go live so we can tell you what we think about the market. And so you guys don't miss out on these crazy breakouts. And Sia posted the Substack of my research that I publish every week. So guys, subscribe to that if you guys want early news and early insights, because live streams, we kind of do it, at a certain time. Sometimes markets move and you guys don't get the news or our views. So if you guys want that, be sure to subscribe to that. It's free and we will deliver it to your email. And all right, so if any of you guys don't have any extra questions, we're just going to end it there for today. Thank you guys for coming as always. And I hope you guys have a nice rest of your week. And I'll probably see you on Friday if we decide to do it Friday and the market doesn't, the market actually has some movement. All right, cool.
All right. Thank you all for the support, and I hope to see you all again this Friday or next week, depending on if we're gonna hold it this week. So thank you all.
All right, thank you guys. See you guys next week.
Bye.